Okay, today on this episode of Trading Places, the Buick has to go out from its prime spot so that the Firebird can be pulled up and I can go through the enjoyable job of spark plugs all around, and then I'm going to do a new coil and a new ignition control module and see if we can get rid of the mist. It sounds like it's dropping out one cylinder, so I kind of need the other cylinder back, so we're going to see if we can get that work done correctly and see if that helps. I don't think it's a distributor. I replaced it with an MSD distributor in 2016. It could be, I don't know, but I'm going to look at the wires and check the plugs as well, but hopefully we can rule out whatever that issue is. Stay tuned. Alright, so here we go. We're going to go start on the easy side and see how it goes as soon as I adjust my camera angle. There we go. Alright, so this is for sure the hardest side. We're going to see how much we can get on the top done first, and then see if we can, we'll have to jack it up. Well, we probably don't have to, but we're going to do it that way and see if I can get everything done easily that way. But one thing that makes, a couple things that make it easy on this side is to undo the belt and take the alternator off. And this is going to make it a little bit easier. I'll have to pull power off, obviously, or else it gets zapped. And that'll make at least a few spark plugs easier to get on this side. So you got one bolt here, bolt here, bolt here, and then just undoing your belt. So, and that, I forget where the pulley is actually. Tension pulley. I think it might be underneath actually. So we're going to work on this side first, see if that helps. Alright, so before we commence, got a few different ratchets and so forth that should help. Nice snap-on adjustable. Got a 5/8 socket, and that's more of a standard spark plug wrench. Got a little spinner. These are nice for either getting it out by hand or screwing it back in, and a couple different extensions. So we'll get to it, see how it goes. This is kind of curious. Not sure why it's that color. That seems a little bit strange. And that kind of looks like an iridium style plug too, so I don't know what the story is there, but we're going to put the other one back in and see what happens. Alright, so we got that plug and the boot back on and the wire. So now we're going to take apart some of this on that side and see if we can get closer to getting those plugs done. So, alright, so there's another plug. They're all looking about the same color. Kind of strange. I don't know why. They're all looking the same color. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and grab the jack and get up in the air. It seems like it's easier to come underneath to get that belt tensioner, so we'll get to work on that now. Today's project, I'm done now, for today anyways, was working on the Firebird, doing the spark plugs. We're going to do coil and ignition control module next, but we got all of the left side done. Pretty relatively easy to get the first three here from up top. Definitely the easiest to get that last one in the rear. Now we were having trouble with a misfire, and it really kind of needed spark plugs anyways. I'll show them to you. They're not really that bad, but I figured, well, hey, since I'm hunting for this misfire, let's do spark plugs. So we got some NKG TR55s. It was easier to remove the alternator to do the first three, and now I'm trying to figure out what to do to get that rear plug. it kind of looks like at least part of the exhaust needs to move, or the starter. So we're both. We're gonna look around and see, but let's take a walk back here and look at the AC Delco plugs. So they weren't too bad per se, and they kind of look like they are an iridium. Let's see if it'll focus here for us. Nope, it doesn't want to focus. Okay, let's see. There we go. But the weirdest color on these, I'm not sure why. Look at that. All of them have this rusty, I don't know if it's because of the ethanol. I'm running 93 in it. But all of them have that kind of rusty gold color on there. So, I don't know. But we're done with that for today. We noticed some little fluid leaking from the... let's see. A little bit of fluid leaking from the water pump. So might need to go ahead and price one of those out. No overheating, just some leakage. And then definitely need to redo the rack and pinion is leaking profusely from the input. So gotta work on that too. So that's the what we got done so far today. Hey everybody, it's Thursday, and remember we started doing this spark plug job. Here we go. On last Saturday. So finally we got number 8 out. A couple different ways. It's a pain. I wish there was a better maybe I just didn't look for the info right. I don't know. But anyways, I've got pressure on the motor and the let's see, oil pan. Oh, and a flywheel, about so. I used a piece of wood, so hopefully we're not having any issues with, oil pump and oil pickup. Trying to be smart about this, but boy, it's sorry to complain, but it is a royal pain. So anyways, got the light here. What seemed to be easiest was to, I don't know if it really is easy, but anyway, so let me put these down. What I ended up doing was using a small extension, the socket, and then a small wrench socket, and then getting down way like this and lining up the socket down this way. You can kind of see the spark plug from here, and then just slowly, the arm is buried like this, trying to stretch, and boy howdy is it uncomfortable. And you can only do like maybe 1/8 rotations on the ratchet itself. So to be able to actually get that, I got it loose as I can with this, but then to be able to actually pull it out, I got up here on my knees, reached down in between here, about so, and then just twisted it out. So I'm gonna, I might be pushing it, but I'm going to try to see if I can get the other spark plug in tonight. It would be nice to get this wrapped up. I tried the motor mount idea. I had thought about loosening this motor mount, doing the bolt. Now I'm really not sure how safe this is right here, but I did pull the motor to a degree, and I know there's motor mounts, all that. It's probably not good for it to be this way, but if I don't get that spark plug out, that's not going to be good for me. I don't know. We're going to find out what mistakes I made. But I tried the motor mount idea, and the nut for the motor mount is back here, exactly where I would need to be able to drop the Y pipe from the left side, or a crossover pipe. And I tried to loosen that, but I broke one bolt on from the pipe to the manifold, and I didn't want to keep continuing to break those bolts, so I kind of gave up on that idea. I tried the moving the starter down here, and that gave me a little bit of an access, at least to get the spark plug boot off, but actually to be able to get a wrench up in there and do anything with that spark plug wasn't really possible. So really, it seems like you got to get it from the top to a degree, unless you go to all the work to loosen that crossover pipe from that side. But right now I wasn't really into what all that would take. So, anywho, didn't mean to complain there, but kind of a pain. If anybody does know, if you would leave me a comment if an LS1 is a little bit better, it may or not really be better. It might just be, even if I do the swap, I might be just destined to have a hard time with spark plugs. But anyways, thanks for listening, guys, and we'll eventually get this back up and go from there. Talk to you later. Hey everybody, it's been 1 week since we started the spark plugs on the Firebird, and I just wrapped up all the nuts and bolts and everything tonight. The last thing I had to do was put the alternator on, put the belt back on, and hopefully I got that right. It looks like it. And I also, since we were going ahead and we're chasing down that miss, I went ahead and put on a new ignition control module and a new coil from 1A Auto. The total was 40 bucks, so I thought, well, hey, that's not a bad deal. Let's just go ahead and do that. So, without further ado, we are going to crank the beast up and see if what we can do. I'm going to go ahead and close the cutout so we're not rattling inside the house. Let's do that. The key to success, but this is also the key of quietness today. Alright, I don't know about you, it's been a week. I'm going to cycle this one more time. Alright, see what she does. Whoa, that's not good. Too close to my purple. Ah! It's alive! Something's unplugged over here. See that for you. Trying to see what all I missed. It started, so that's good. Look at that poor power steering pulley. Somebody tried taking it apart before I got the car, and they bent the power steering pulley pretty badly. Let's see what it sounds like back here. Other than too quiet, doesn't sound too bad. And turn the AC on and we'll see if I tore up any lines working on it. Feels cool. Still got a check engine light. And I think that's just the evap. I think I need to take the EGR off and either buy a new one or clean it, so that's another thing I'm going to do. Not just yet though. But I do have the gasket to at least take it off, clean it. Alright, AC works. The starter sounded good, so I think we got that back where it needed to be. Alright, let's give it a couple revs, see if there's any miss. I'm not hearing one. I could be wrong though. Sounds pretty good. Well, everybody, I'll keep you updated. Thankfully, the number 8 spark plug is not impossible. You would have seen that video already. I think I'll put that up tonight, which is Saturday. But anyways, LT1s are not impossible to work on, although trying, difficult, and annoying. We'll keep you posted of all the progress. Alrighty, well, we're playing with the car still, and so far what's happened is that I started it up, seemed to run smooth, and started sounding fun. I came back, there was a code like I showed you in the last video, and further investigation of the code showed it to be a PO1351, which has to do with the ignition too high a voltage. So did a little quick research, and sometimes it points to the distributor, sometimes it points to the ICM, ignition control module. So I swapped that out with one of the older ones. We're just going to see what it does. Alright, well that's interesting. The light's out. Now before, it was coming right on. Let's see what this does. This is interesting. I wonder if my brand new ignition control module was bad. This is interesting. Huh. Let's pop in here, give it a little gas, see what it does. I didn't even bother taking it out. I just unplugged the old one and plugged it into the new one, just let it sit. Sounds like I still got the mist. Whoa, look at that idle. Very interesting. I'm wondering if we might have a little bit deeper of a problem. I was reading that sometimes this issue can be brought on by a loose timing chain, or having the either the distributor, which is always a possibility in these cars, or you know, something mechanical with the timing being off. So idle feels real shaky and stuttering. No lights. Oh, now it's really just bogging down. Huh. Well, anyways, I'll get back to you. It's kind of interesting. I'm not sure what the issue is.